This man was walking while looking down at his phone. He accidentally walked into a lamppost. In a panic, he yanked off a passing woman's coat. She didn't even notice. She walked straight into a restaurant without looking up once. When she sat down, she accidentally crushed a cat to death. The shaking chair knocked into the table behind her. A piece of cake splattered all over the face of the man sitting there. But still, nobody looked up. Nearby, a father and son were also lost in their phones. The son fell off his father's shoulders. He just lay on the ground and kept playing. The father got knocked down by a construction worker. An ambulance rushed him to the hospital, but the doctor on duty was looking down at his phone while treating him. One wrong needle went straight into the patient's neck. The patient died instantly. The doctor acted like nothing happened. Then an influencer walked by and saw the man lying on the ground. She quickly struck a few poses, took photos, and posted them online. Right after, a car crashed nearby. She rushed over to shoot that too. Then came the sound of fire trucks. Wanting the most dramatic shot, she walked straight into the fire. But even the firefighters at the scene were staring at their phones while working the rescue airbag. Someone falling from above hit a firefighter and bounced dozens of feet away. The impact slid an entire lab platform sideways. Inside, a scientist had no idea what was happening. He just kept furiously tapping his phone, completely unaware of the danger. Then a mushroom cloud rose. Earth was reduced to ruins. Only that scientist survived. He casually stepped out of the lab pod, but an explosion sent debris flying and smashed his phone. Only then did he realize what had happened. But by then, it was way too late. In the end, every last human on Earth was gone. Don't blink. This meal is way wilder than you think. A girl's just eating her dinner. Then suddenly, bam, she turns into a camel. Don't ask why. Nobody at this table is exactly normal. Everyone's sitting around a long table, acting like they're focused on their food. But really? They've all got secrets. And they're all silently sizing each other up. The guy next to her blinks and turns into a lab mouse. But the girl across from him? She's even worse. She turns straight into a snake, opens her giant mouth wide, and just like that, the food's gone. One dude is totally off the rails. Mid-meal, he turns into some ugly, terrifying monster. He doesn't even flinch. But the guy across from him, the one who turns into a fish? Oh, his eyes definitely look scared. Then there's that little girl shoveling food like there's no tomorrow. She turns into a hairy crab, claws locked tight around her plate like her life depends on it. Why? Because the old lady next to her turned into some long-haired monster. Freaked the kid out so bad she almost dumped her food on her own head. But the very next second, the old lady changes into a giant river snail. The boy across from her turns into a green snake, flicks his tongue out, and in one quick move, yoinks the food right off the little boy's plate across the table. That little boy froze on the spot, his face twisted with pure rage. Then he turns into a tiny hamster and starts running all over the table. You think he's running away? How cute. He's hunting for leftovers. After everyone's had their fill, they all turn back into themselves, brush themselves off and walk away. That little hamster scrapes up the last bite of food, eats it, turns back into the kid, grabs his chopsticks like nothing happened, walks off. That little girl licks her plate clean. All satisfied, she turns back into herself, leaves completely content. Which is more dangerous, not being able to control your mouth, or not being able to control your heart? Mr. Pig had a problem. He was obsessively, borderline insanely addicted to eggs. His whole house was covered in egg decorations. Every meal came with a whole table full of eggs. This habit was harder to kick than smoking, because it wasn't just a habit, it was wired into his genes. Then one day, a Miss Chicken walked into the restaurant. She had a killer body and big, sparkly eyes. Mr. Pig fell hard. Instantly, he quickly fixed himself up, and went over to hit on her. Right at that very moment, the waiter brought out his usual table full of eggs. Miss Chicken jumped back in shock. Mr. Pig froze for a second. Then he made a life-changing decision. He slapped his beloved eggs right off the table. It was dramatic, over the top, and completely ridiculous. But somehow, Miss Chicken was into it. Mr. Pig seized the moment and handed her a daisy. And just like that, they started dating. Movies, dinners, the whole deal. Even though Mr. Pig never ate corn, but Miss Chicken liked it, so he choked it down with her. Was this what they called the magic of love? Eventually, they got married. They became the perfect couple everyone admired. But Mr. Pig never actually kicked his egg addiction. He was just white-knuckling it, and the longer he held it in, the more he started hallucinating. Everything looked like an egg to him. Even Miss Chicken started looking like an egg in his eyes. Mr. Pig couldn't sleep all night. Finally, he broke. While Miss Chicken was asleep, he ran all the way to the restaurant, and ordered a whole table full of eggs. Just as he was about to dig in, he saw the little daisy on the table. It stopped him cold. That looked just like the daisy he used to win Miss Chicken over. Slowly, he put down his fork. On one side, his beloved eggs. Pure, primal pleasure. On the other side, Miss Chicken. A real relationship. The next morning, Miss Chicken had just woken up. Mr. Pig brought her breakfast. 2 ears of corn, and 1 daisy. Looks like he chose love, and quit eggs. The struggle was painful, and the ending was decent enough. But honestly, neither choice was really wrong. At the edge of starvation, humanity can shatter in seconds. He set out on a journey to find food. The moment he stepped into a taxi, his massive body nearly bent the car out of shape. The driver took one look and ran for his life. Then the smell of a restaurant hit him. It pulled him in like a trap. Inside, the place was packed, but in his eyes, every other diner was just a tiny, unimportant doll. He moved carefully, afraid that lifting his hand too high would smash the ceiling. But when the scent of fresh oysters hit his nose, all his self-control collapsed. He lunged at the food like a wild animal, and around him, everyone else was eating just as crazily. It felt like permission. Menus, wine, endless plates of beautiful food. Every single thing tempted him. He devoured everything greedily, one bite after another, falling deeper and deeper into a feeding frenzy. His body swelled with every mouthful, slowly, then faster, until he was so bloated he couldn't move inside the restaurant. But even then, he didn't stop. He kept his mouth open, wanting more, and the restaurant staff didn't stop him. Instead, they shoved food into his face like trash into a bin. That broke whatever was left of his mind. He lost himself completely. There was no difference anymore between food and people. He suddenly grabbed the diner next to him and swallowed them whole. Only when a violent wave of nausea hit him did he snap back to reality. He saw what he had become, what he had done. So he fought with everything he had and crawled out of the restaurant. Out in the empty wasteland, he threw up everything he had swallowed. When he woke up again, the world had become tiny beneath him. Drool dripped from the corner of his mouth and turned into winding streams. The waste inside him piled up into a vast desert. His vomit carved rivers across the land. His body had swollen to half the size of the earth, floating in space like a giant corpse burst open by endless greed. In the end, he had no choice but to leave, to escape the land that his own hunger had destroyed. And what about you? When faced with endless desire and temptation, which kind of person will you become? Every week, a girl got a full body checkup. Workers came regularly to weigh her, check her blood pressure, and monitor her health. She never once suspected the truth. She was just a container, growing organs for the rich. By then, the world had already ended. One healthy family was chosen as the only survivors allowed in a quarantine zone. But as time passed, the girl ended up all alone. She didn't know where her parents had gone. Still, life had to continue. The workers not only checked her body, they also carefully prepared her meals. If her toothbrush broke, they replaced it right away. But that life didn't last forever. One day, a shy mailman showed up outside her isolated little house. The girl thought the letter was from her parents. But when she opened it, nothing was inside. She grew curious about the mailman. He always left in a hurry, blushing. One rainy night, the mailman came back to the mailbox, but he didn't leave any mail. As he turned to leave, he noticed a light on inside the house. He looked up, and their eyes met. He ran off in a panic. The next day, he came again. After making sure no one was watching, he pulled out an envelope he'd been holding onto for a while. But he hesitated. Then he gathered his courage and knocked on her door. He handed her a love letter. She accepted it shyly. He left the quarantine zone, overjoyed. But here's the truth. The area where he lived was already in ruins. He chose to stay inside the illusion. The next day, he asked her to go out, but they ran right into a surprise inspection. He hid under the bed and barely escaped being caught. A radio turned on, but the workers didn't pay attention. So the two of them spent a wonderful day together. That evening, as they said goodbye, the boy suddenly collapsed. That's when the workers found him. Luckily, he was okay. But from his hospital bed, he saw the truth about the world. He told the girl everything. He begged her to escape with him. She was shocked, but she wasn't ready to leave. They went to the edge of a landfill. The boy climbed the wall and saw another wall beyond it. The girl chose to stay. She had already seen the outside world before, and now, she had finally accepted reality. The boy chose to leave. The girl went back to the old house, and went right back to her old life. So tell me, if that were you, would you leave? This short film has sparked widespread controversy. Many people feel it shows disrespect toward life. The main reason people think that is because in the film, the son turns his deceased mother's body into a puppet. In this poor little town, the family quietly stays at home. Because of the economic crisis, the man gets laid off. They can only barely get by on his elderly mother's pension. There's still some time before the next pension payment, but there's no food left in the house. So the three of them end up eating their pet fish. The thoughtful daughter buries an orange in the soil. Late at night, the man still racks his brain for a way to make a living. The old mother wants to eat more to stay healthy. Worried that she'll eat too much, the man puts the oranges on a higher cabinet. After night falls, the hungry old woman quietly goes to the kitchen. She uses her cane to slowly feel for a bottle. The bottle happens to fall right on her head. Hearing the noise, the man rushes over to check. He's shocked to see that his mother has passed away. He kneels on the ground and prays to God. His mother's death also means the family has lost its only source of income. Then he notices a goat's head hanging on the wall. An idea comes to him. Soon, he finds a needle and thread. He seals the old woman's body with soil inside. Under the torment of guilt, beads of sweat as big as beans keep rolling down his forehead. After much effort, he finally completes the task. The next morning, he wheels his mother out to collect her pension. He nervously hands over the documents. While waiting for the staff to verify the information, An orange tree suddenly sprouts from the old woman's body. Seeing this, the man quickly leaves with her. He leans against the wall, feeling like he's lost all hope in life. But the little girl hasn't. She knows the little tree needs water to grow, so she starts watering it. At night, branches suddenly burst out from the window of the old woman's room. The noise startles the father and daughter. They hurry to check on her room. Instead, they see a giant orange tree, and the tree is covered with oranges. The father and daughter are stunned by what they see. The father happily picks up his daughter. From then on, they start making orange jam, and they get through the economic crisis. This is all the old woman's silent love. Only now do we understand why she wanted to eat late at night. Only a healthy body could help her family hold on a little longer. But even after her accidental death, she still silently watches over this family.